We'll be with friends, family, and perhaps make some new friends. The fourth, we celebrate our freedom. Perhaps this weekend we should take a few minutes and reflect on life without freedom. Help me welcome Jack Bevere.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed with certain unalienable rights, among them life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. We have heard those words so often, they've almost become meaningless. But in 1776, when they were first written, they ignited a fire for freedom. It blazed brightly. It spread around the world. But today, the flames are flickering. The coals are smoldering. The fire is dying. You can prevent the fire from dying if you do four things with your children and your grandchildren. Number one, discuss the wonderful ideology of freedom that is in the Declaration of Independence. Number two, examine the political genius that's embedded in the Constitution. Number three, study the arguments for and against ratification of the Constitution as written in the Federalist Papers and the Anti-Federalist Papers. And number four, at every opportunity, compare our way of life with those of all the other countries. Consider the Declaration of Independence. Consider the four self-evident truths that are presented in it. The first, that all men are created equal. That is a renunciation of the political theory, the divine right of kings, which in 1776, Western civilization said that kings were divinely appointed by God as his earthly representative. And any disobedience to the king was a transgression against God. The Founding Fathers said no. No one is born politically superior or politically inferior to any other person. Years later, Thomas Jefferson wrote that science has shown that the mass of humanity was not born with saddles on their backs, nor a favored few, booted and spurred, ready to ride them. They were not talking about physical or mental equality. They were talking about political equality. That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Regardless of your understanding of creation, we were all born with through the same natural biological process. Biology has shown us that every living species is born with unique features. Birds have wings, fish have fins, Humans have minds. Birds fly. Fish swim. Men think. Thinking gives us the ability to evaluate alternatives, to choose one, to judge the results. And if we are unhappy with the results, we can choose another alternative which in our pursuit for happiness. The third self-evident truth is that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. This takes into consideration human nature. Some men are passive. Other people are aggressive. Passive people seldom violate the natural rights of other people. But overly aggressive people, they have no respect for other people's rights. They will do what they want, when they want, if they have the power. That is why governments are necessary. But you need a government that has only enough power to secure the rights of all the people. The third self-truth goes on with deriving their rights from the consent of the governed. If you ignore this, freedom will soon be dead. It will soon be lost forever. Deriving the right from the consent of the people. Once a government has a little power, it desires a little more. The desire turns into a craving. The craving turns into obsession. To satisfy this obsession, governments will use the coercive power of the bureaucracy, the enforcement power of the police, and eventually the might of the military. During the 20th century, governments imprisoned, killed, and starved millions of their own people. Today, in China, North Korea, Cuba, Syria, the same thing is going on. Every time a new regulation is passed, a new law is passed, a new executive order is issued, the government gets a little stronger, and we lose a little bit more of our power. I'll leave you with this thought. There once was a country of light that ignored its plight. The people relinquished their power. Now the government makes them cower. And freedom is fading from sight.